If you travel the world, chances are there's one dish you won't have much trouble finding: fried chicken. Pretty much every continent and every country has their own take on it, varying the spices, the method of frying, and the type of oil used. In North America, it's Southern fried chicken. Those Southern recipes have evolved with a mix of spices and seasonings that have made it a satisfying staple of down-home eating. Our menu is Buttermilk Fried Chicken with chive creme fraiche and tangy coleslaw. I'm Garret Schack, and today, that's what we're cooking on the coast, y'all. We're bringing the taste to the deep south to our kitchen today, y'all. We've got buttermilk fried chicken with chive creme fraiche and tangy coleslaw. Let's get started. Okay, chicken, chicken, chicken. It's on 95% of all restaurant menus across the world. It's been domesticated for over 4,000 years, so why wouldn't we deep fry it, right? Beautiful stuff. It's quite mild in flavor. We're using a free-range chicken, so it's definitely got that sort of grassy, alfalfa type flavor, but we want to enhance it, so we're going to add a few extra things here. Now, there's all kinds of people out there that will tell you more is better. Not for me. I prefer just to use a few simple ingredients to get things going and really let the flavor of this organic chicken play out here. So we're using a 9-cut chicken, and I'm simply going to season it with garlic powder, onion powder, chili flakes, and fresh thyme. So in it goes. When you go to your butcher and you're looking for that organic chicken, just ask him to 9-cut it for you. So he'll take the whole bird and cut it into what that means in the restaurant industry is 9 chunks. And then basically, you can feed your whole family a couple of pieces and have a chunk left over for lunch the next day. So fresh thyme, I just tore it up, added it right in there. And last but not least, we want to use some buttermilk. Buttermilk does a couple of things. It adds flavor. Buttermilk's tasty. It has a little sourness to it, but it also will help break down that chicken. So we'll pour a little bit in there just to moisten it up and get it moving. And then we'll shake it around here. I'm gonna use my tongs. So at this point, I don't really want to get my hands too dirty. Obviously, when you're dealing with chicken, you know, we're talking salmonella, so we have to be very careful with raw chicken. Try not to get it all over the kitchen. There we go. And then, okay, you're looking at me going, well, how am I supposed to put this giant bowl in my fridge and still have room for the milk? I have the solution, and it's in the form of this crazy resealable bag here. Okay, you want to use a fairly heavy-duty one. Don't cheap out on these guys, because the chicken bones will pierce through and you'll have buttermilk and chicken guts all over your fridge, and you don't want that. So in they go. Again, I'm using tongs here. Okay, I'm gonna pour the rest of that right in. We kind of want to make sure we get all of it in there as best we can. Tuck that away. And before I fire it in the fridge, couple of fresh bay leaves. In they go. Seal it up. Oh, actually, I almost forgot. We got to add the rest of that buttermilk. I saved a little bit in there just for afterwards. Really make sure we saturate it. Perfect. That's better. Good thing we didn't forget that. Close it up. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, chef, you're always supposed to put salt in there. Not this time. Not when you're doing the marinade. Salt will actually draw moisture out of that chicken, and it'll become dry and won't be as pleasant. So we'll season later. Don't worry, I promise. Now, you can do a fancy bartender trick, shake it around. Great. But what you want to do is no less than 6 hours in your refrigerator. Let's pop it in there right now. Of course, here on Cookin' on the Coast, we're pretty organized. So as you can see, I had some ready and waiting. So no worries. Open her up and move on to our battering portion. This is where we're gonna get that really crispy sort of bits out of our deep frying. Same ingredients here, except this time I'm using dried thyme. I don't want the fresh thyme to burn in my deep fryer. So in they go, onion powder, garlic powder, chili flakes, and the dried thyme. We'll just give that a nice mix. At this point, our clean hand is now dirty. Into the flour it goes. Give it a good stir around, mix all those ingredients. Add some salt. There we are. And start adding our buttermilk marinated chicken into the flour. And it's okay if you take some of that. You don't have to like shake all the thyme off, or don't worry about shaking all the buttermilk out. That's okay if it gets in there and makes kind of like almost like a paper mache glue in with our flour. That's quite all right. Again, keep it tidy as we go. Put that away. Now we've got our deep fryer going over here already. We're actually shallow frying today. I'm not using a super deep fryer here. A couple things we want to be careful of, obviously, are that we don't overfill our pan with oil, because we're going to be adding this to it, and as we do, it'll expand, and next thing you know, we'll have oil everywhere, cause a big house fire, things will be in trouble, and you'll be yelling at me. So, not too high. The heat, you want a nice hot heat, so we're going to test for that by just dipping the drumstick in. See that sizzling? See how it started bubbling right away? That's exactly what we want. When you lay the chicken in, lay it away from you. Voila. Okay, I've got a nice thigh piece here. And this chicken must have been a marathon runner. Look at that bad boy. In it goes. Believe it or not, fried chicken was when it was first eaten, was a sign of wealth. And nowadays, you find it on every continent on Earth. We don't want to overcrowd the pan, so I'm just going to put one more small piece in there. Hey-oh, easy now, friend. One more small piece, and let that cook. Now it's important, like I said, don't overcrowd the pan. If you cool this down too much, it's just going to start absorbing oil instead of actually deep frying. So if you're using the right heat, then you don't have to worry about that. Now we'll let those pieces fry. Now they're fairly big, so if I was to cook them all the way through in the deep fryer here, it would probably take 20 minutes to 25 minutes or so. So what I like to do is let them get crispy, let them get nice and golden brown, and then I transfer them over to a baking sheet and finish them off in the oven. So because we're shallow frying, you'll see that some of these bits are sticking out of the top, and that's quite all right. All we have to do is very carefully, again, we're dealing with hot oil, give them a little flip over, but you can see the lovely color on those guys already. Just looking incredible, right? There we are. We need smell-o-vision, because I can smell the herbs cooking in that in that pot right there. It's just amazing. And we need some deep frying music here too. That'd be great. Okay, as we got the nice golden brown, you can leave it in there a little bit longer, but we're on TV and the guys are getting impatient, so we'll start moving along here. In goes the next piece. In goes the next piece. Out comes that ginormous thigh. Oh, jeez. Did you know that there's actually more chickens on Earth than there are humans? Unbelievable. I don't know who comes up with these factoids, but that guy needs to get paid more. In it goes. Our last piece. Beautiful wing. Guy just flew up here from the south. Now, we're going to continue to let that fry. I'm going to wash my goopy fingers off here, and we'll be back later in the show to finish off our buttermilk fried chicken with chive creme fraiche and tangy coleslaw. After the break, we're off to do a little exploring of our own. You'll want to stick around for that. Sometimes, no matter what time of day it is, you just have a craving for an omelet. Luckily for me, Cam over here at Omelette's food cart has just the solution. Omelet witches. That sounds really cool. Let's go see what Cam has for us. Hey Cam, how you doing?
Very good, very good.
Thanks for inviting me onto your cart today. Like I said, I was craving an omelet, didn't get breakfast this morning. And look what I found right here.
Well, let's start you off.
The answer to my problem?
You like everything, right?
Oh yeah, I'm an everything kind of guy for sure.
Well, let's start with everything.
Sounds good to me.
Peppers, pureed.
Yeah.
This is my onion garlic mixture.
Very nice.
Keep the eggs chilly.
Oh, you use whole eggs. That's fantastic.
And then
a lot of people, doing this kind of volume, you'd think they'd be using, like, you can buy the liquid egg stuff. So that's great to see that you're doing.
No. We don't want that. We want a real egg.
Yeah, fair enough. Look at that.
None of this unreal egg.
This is a pretty fancy looking grill. It doesn't look like anything would stick to that.
It is a commercial Broil King.
Yeah. And it's like a non-stick coating over it?
Non-stick coating.
Perfect.
So I advertised on the menu up there, no fats or oils.
Right.
So do you want it on a bun or a wrap?
You know what? Let's go wrap.
Okay.
Why not?
Spinach, whole wheat, plain, or tomato?
Tomato, please.
Tomato.
Oh, there's a lot of choices here, and this is quite the concept.
Multiple choice, so it's all customer decides what they want.
right.
Now, I'd recommend the homemade bacon eggs.
Yeah, well, you sold me on that for sure. Bacon eggs. So you make this yourself?
I make this myself.
Oh, look at that. Bacon and mayonnaise finally together at last, eh?
Real bacon.
Look at that.
Mild or medium salsa?
Let's go medium.
Medium.
So when you've got a lineup of customers here, do you only do this on your own? Or
I do this on my own. I find if I have a helper, it gets confusing.
Gets in the way, huh?
Because as long as the customer stays right there, and I can just ask the questions, it's like, you know, the cafeteria style to a degree, but it's what we have to do. It works best.
Fair enough, yeah.
Okay, lettuce, tomato.
Lettuce and tomato.
Now you're telling me choice. Ham, prosciutto, turkey, or pastrami?
Let's go turkey, please.
Turkey. It's coming up for the flip.
The flip's coming up?
The next question is going to be your cheese choice.
Cheese choice, eh?
Monterey Jack, cheddar, mozzarella, Swiss.
Oh, you sold me on Jack.
Jack.
Yeah, Monterey Jack cheese. I love the way it melts. So this is breakfast any time of the day?
Breakfast any time of the day. It's always challenging, you know, as the day goes longer, so that's why I have the dessert crepes as an option for the PM.
Yeah, a few crepes as well, yeah. Lots of different varieties of that as well.
You know, with the food cart, you're limited to
of course.
a lot of variety.
Yeah.
I want to take that up to later in the day, like a savory crepe, because I've already got the ingredients.
Yeah, great idea, yeah.
But for now, I'm just going to stick to a simple raspberry, blueberry, blackberry crepe, chocolate sauce, whipped cream. And then we're just about ready for your omelette here.
And is that the pronunciation?
That
omelette?
is the omelette.
Omelette. Look at that.
Double T, double E.
Omelette. That looks fantastic. This is a hearty meal here too.
I hope you are hungry.
I am indeed.
We put this in a proper envelope.
There we go, Cam. That looks spectacular. You mind if I get in there and have a bite?
Absolutely. Chow down.
All right, let's
peel
see
it
what
back
we
like
can
a
do.
banana, and away you go.
This is great. I actually like the bag because now it's not, I don't have to worry about spilling it all over my shirt. All right, let's have a bite here. That bacon is awesome. I think I made a good choice with the turkey too, huh?
Yeah.
All right, thanks again, Cam.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna keep going on this bad boy because that turkey, the Monterey Jack, the bacon mayonnaise, the salsa, it all goes so well together. It's delicious.
Well,
Thanks very much.
Somebody else that wants one just like that.
She looks like she's waiting.
Okay.
Well, I know my camera guys like the hot sauce, so I'm gonna slather in that.
Slather it on.
But we'll be right back after this break.
Hello.
It's back to the kitchen and our down-home buttermilk fried chicken with chive creme fraiche and tangy coleslaw. So we've got the buttermilk fried chicken. It's in the oven right now. Tidied up a little bit, as you can plainly see here, but in the oven, 20 to 25 minutes, depending on the thickness of those chicken parts. And remember, we had that marathon runner chicken thigh in there, so a good 20 to 25 minutes just to finish up in the oven. In the meantime, we can get some of our other things rolling. We want to make a tangy coleslaw and also chive creme fraiche. Now, creme fraiche is directly translates to fresh cream, which in this case is basically heavy cream that's had the bacteria poured in from buttermilk, and it causes it to thicken. You actually leave this on the counter, which I've done, for a day, up to 2 days on the counter until it gets kind of a little bit more thick. So let's grab it. I got it back here. So you'll see I've got it in a non-reactive bowl here, and I've just covered it with cheesecloth. I don't want to wrap this tightly with, say, cling film or plastic wrap or something like that. We definitely want it to be able to breathe. So we'll just open it up here. Lovely, lovely. So it's kind of like sour cream in a way, but we've made it ourselves. A little bit of lemon juice, and we're simply going to, oh, it looks perfect actually. So this has been about 24 hours. It looks great. We're simply going to add some chives to this, and that'll be one of our dips, I suppose, for the chicken here. So let's quickly chop a few chives, because I like chopping chives. Okay. Then we'll move on to our tangy coleslaw, which I'm really excited to do. I love a tangy coleslaw versus sort of a creamy one. I just think the cream adds that extra heaviness, and we're looking for that coleslaw to cut through the sort of the deep fried taste of our chicken anyway. So there we go. That should be enough chives for what we're doing here. Right into our creme fraiche. Perfect. Give that a little stir around. You can see it's just, it's a little thicker than heavy cream. Perfect. Lovely consistency. I want to give it just a little taste. I got a spoon down here. Very nice. I'm gonna add a touch of salt, a few cracks of pepper, then we'll put it into our little serving container right over here for when we're ready to go. And then we'll move on to our coleslaw. Now, cabbage is an amazing vegetable. It grows like wild. It grows like weeds, really. So you'll see it all over Europe. Per hectare, grows better than any other vegetable. So you can imagine why you see it everywhere. The Russians eat more of this, 7 times more cabbage than any other nationality in the world. So to dress this bad boy, we've got some apple cider vinegar right in there. A little bit of vegetable oil. I want a really neutral oil here. I want to let the cabbage and the other ingredients sort of be the showcase. There we are. Some sugar. So sugar will help break down the cabbage as well. It'll help sort of soften it up. It'd be ideal if we could let this salad sit for about 24 hours in the fridge. So great make-ahead thing if you're having a dinner party. Salt, of course. A little bit too much. I won't quite put that huge pinch in there. I'm gonna put some grainy mustard. Cool colors on that, a little bit of brown from the mustard seed, and then the yellow from the pureed mustard seed. I think it looks pretty incredible. Where'd my spoon go? Oh, let's use this mustard one here. Stir it around. Now I want to let this sit just for a couple seconds while I chop up my radishes and my onion. The idea here is to let that cabbage actually start to break down a little bit. Let's cut those off. Beautiful radishes. Lovely red, kind of pinkish purple. Amazing. These will add a little bit of spice, a little bite to our cabbage here. Give those a nice chop. Fairly fine if you can. And you want to add them sort of toward the end here, just as you're about to serve, so none of that color bleeds out of the flesh there. Just chop up the pink one here. I like chopping, so it's good fun. Okay. Get that in there. It's gonna add a little bit of lovely color to that white cabbage. And then for the onions. Now I know I've showed most of you this trick before, and since we have such avid viewers, such faithful viewers I should say, for the new ones I'll show you again. On an angle, and you'll avoid that big chunk at the end. Again, fairly thin, but not too much. I'm only gonna use maybe a couple more slices. There we go. Set that aside. And break that up into our coleslaw. And give it another stir here. Nice, it looks great. Lots of colors from those radishes. You can smell the apple cider vinegar and the mustard working together nicely in there. Let's get that over to our serving bowl here. Okay, see what I'm saying about the colors? Just incredible. What's left? Well, of course, the buttermilk fried chicken. Let's go to the oven and grab that. Oh, yes, there we are. You can almost see how crispy it is. I love it. Looks fantastic. Okay. Look at that, lovely golden brown. Oh, it's perfect. It's super crispy. Now, before we put it onto our serving plate, we do have this little blotting plate here. So basically what we're gonna do is if there's any excess oil, we just sort of want that to come off. And you can kind of see it right there. There is a bit of excess oil. So we're just gonna put it on there, let that get absorbed. We're health conscious after all. I mean, we are eating fried chicken, I suppose, but gotta be careful, right? Gotta watch those bellies. Okay, and then over, here, I'll tell you what, let's switch this out for our serving plate. And I think this looks really cool. This would be fun for a picnic or something like that, wouldn't it? Nice big board, fold our napkin. There's our coleslaw. Now let's add our chicken to the dish, chicken to the plate here. Setting that right down on top of that cloth. Oh man, it smells so good. You can almost hear, can you hear how crispy that is when I pick it up with the tongs? It's awesome. All right, put that out of the way. And there it is. Buttermilk fried chicken with tangy coleslaw and chive creme fraiche. I can't wait to dig in. Now what better way to enjoy our fried chicken than with an ice-cold beverage? With me today is Garret from Vancouver Island Brewery. How you doing, bud?
Good. How you doing, Garret?
Nice to see you. Yeah, Garret. How's it going, Garret?
Good. Doing good.
That's perfect. So I happen to be a big fan of beer, and I know Vancouver Island does an amazing job of beer. They've been doing it for over 30 years.
Over 30 years. It's our 31st year now.
Yeah, pretty incredible. So what did you bring for us today?
We brought the Islander Lager today. So it's a craft lager. It's a nice, crisp, clean lager. It's made with all Canadian ingredients, aside from the hops, which came from the Oregon, in the Willamette Valley in Oregon.
Nice, all Pacific Northwest stuff.
Yep, exactly. It's made with Canadian two-row barley and a little bit of Canadian wheat. The wheat adds a little bit of flavor, a little bit of head retention, and the hops just kind of back up that grainy sweetness that's there with the lager.
Yeah, after a few Islanders, I need a little head retention, so that's actually kind of perfect. So, well, why don't we try it and see how it works with this this fried chicken here? So you chose the Islander with the fried chicken for a specific reason, I would imagine.
I found that the nice light body would pair really well and cut through the fat of the fried chicken. It won't make you really bloated like a heavy ale or a pale ale or a stout. It's also, got that nice kind of golden crisp color, just like the chicken itself does.
It looks incredible. Yeah, it looks fantastic. Oh, it smells amazing. I can just smell beer all day. Well, of course, until I have to drink it.
Yeah.
The way I go.
You say that, but you don't have to smell beer all day.
Oh, wow. Cheers.
Cheers.
So good. Yeah, you're probably not leaving here with many of those cans of beer there.
No, these are for you guys.
Let's see how it goes with the chicken here. Nice and moist. If I don't say so myself. You nailed it. Perfect pairing. You're right. It cuts through. Yep. There's a little bit of that chili, so it gives a touch of that heat, or softens that heat just ever so slightly. Very nice pairing, Garret.
Very nice. Very nice chicken, Garret.
Thank you. Check out our website where you'll find more information on today's show and maybe a few surprises. I'm Garret Schack. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to savor the flavor. Nice, Pablo. Let's keep digging in here. Just put a little bit. Oh, fresh on that.